This week on the Garden Tarts. Fun fact, the only other time I remember seeing a phone installed in someone's car was in Bono's.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Around
He
here
had a
and
car phone. And, I was in the back seat, and I could tell on the screen it, like, showed the phone number, and but I couldn't read it. I was like, "Read it and remember it," and I was like, I
well,
couldn't
if it
get it.
ever happens again, call me. Everybody's got a cell phone now.
Like, "Dude, can I borrow your car phone?
That's
Can I
really
skip to
fun.
Virginia?" Okay.
I'm Jenny.
Hey, Hill, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you very much.
Good. This is Sunday, April 26th. If you're listening, it is on or after Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. This is season 8, episode 16.
And you're listening to Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts with the Garden Tarts. Please and thank you for taking a moment to like and subscribe wherever you listen to these podcasts.
Yes, please. And to all of our new listeners, oh my gosh, you guys,
Hi.
you make hi. You make us very happy because we kind of just floundered for years, and now we're getting
Yeah,
some.
some traction.
Yep, it's really really cool. So it was brought to our attention by Ruth that her niece, we think, um, Dawn, is in the hospital, and we're sorry to hear that, and we hope Dawn is doing better. So shout out to
Ruth,
Dawn.
yeah, and Ruth did write today that Dawn is feeling better. So
Good, good,
she has the
good.
flu.
Yeah, that was. I'm glad that she wrote us because I mean that's who introduced her to our podcast. So of
Right,
course
right,
we're gonna send her well wishes.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, we have a little bit of a fun episode today.
yeah,
For
we
side
do.
A, we're going to go over our origin story.
Yeah. People have asked us this, and I know early on, I know several times we've told it we're gonna cover everything here,
It's
and for
been
new people
years.
that haven't heard, so
Yeah. And then side B, we are going to talk about the results of a very contentious poll
yeah.
of if you had to get rid of one U2 album, what would it be? And a lot of people had a lot of answers and a lot of people had a lot of feelings. So we'll tell you what happened there.
So our origin story is gonna be in 4 parts. 1, the origin of our friendship. 2, tours. 3, related non-tour YouTube events, and then 4 is bestest friends. No you 2 in that.
Right.
It's just us. Um, so let's start with I.
Part one, the chat room
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. So I think that I mean, we mentioned it a couple episodes ago, but we met on, Prodigy, which was it was a standalone service before, it was in DOS, it wasn't in Windows or anything like that at all.
It was pre AOL, pre America Online.
Yeah, long, long time ago. We obviously both went to, like, U2, but then we also went over to the police and stuff. I don't
Uh-huh.
even remember the conversation, but there was someone being kind of anti-Semitic in that room, and
Yeah.
Jenny said something like, "I'm Jewish, and that's offensive," or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm Jewish," and so we started our friendship not in the YouTube boards, but in the Sting police boards.
Right. And actually, like the first real conversation you and I had was about me potentially leading our next family's Passover Seder, and you were going to send me some stuff.
I never did.
It
You
was
still want
more
me to
like
send
of the
stuff?
feminine side or something. And
Okay.
then somehow, I guess we found each other on the YouTube board too.
Yeah, yeah. And so it was that's how you met people back then, but we just chatted away all the time, and,
Yeah.
we corresponded a lot, like, we send each other tapes and fun stuff, and then you do you wanna carry on?
Yeah. And that, I mean, yeah, we sent each other tapes, all kinds of I mean, everything you can imagine in the mail, you
Yeah.
like, that you could do in the early
Yeah,
90s,
yeah, yeah.
and phone conversations and, and we just kind of it just kind of grew into this lovely, friendship and group of friends
Yes.
on Prodigy, and, then there was the first, like, U2 conference, U2 meetup. Was it U2 conference as we know U2 conference now?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
It was in Chicago. It was what year was it in?
It had
95,
to be I think it
96?
was 95.
Okay, and I had a fanzine at the time, and so I had a table. There was like a fair? I don't know
It was like a, what do they call them when it's like a work it was like a trade show.
Thank you. It was like a trade show and businesses, fandom, people who had stuff to sell to show had something. And actually, there was another fan who did a lot of artwork. And so we split the fee of a table. So it was half her and half me. And I'm just standing there at my table. And Hillary walks up and she's like, Jenny? And I couldn't get on, we couldn't figure out how to get together.
Like, she started going over the table, under the table, I went and then we switched, and, like, we had
I
a
think I
hug.
eventually went under the table, came in biggest hugs, and it that was it.
Yeah. Well, we went to see I know you were there. We went to see Rattle and Hum that night.
Oh, you did?
I'm pretty sure you were there too, but maybe not. I don't
I
know.
did not see Rattle and Hum in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
The only time I've seen Rattle and Hum in the theater was here in Cleveland with you.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I don't know what else I was doing in
I
Chicago.
saw it in a theater in Chicago, but they were a lot more, like, serious than the one we went to in Cleveland.
Yeah,
'Cause we went in there and we laughed and people said stuff and it was so much fun.
it's great. It was great here in
Yeah.
Cleveland. Yeah, I literally don't have any other memories from that Chicago. I think I went with a friend of mine. Like, I think I went to Chicago with a friend of mine from high school, and we stayed with some of her friends. So I
Okay.
think I kinda, like I did this table thing, but I didn't even though there was you and me, like, we didn't there weren't cell phone there wasn't a way to, like for you to, like, text me and be like, "Hey, wanna come to this movie with us?"
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we had I no, I had a cell phone, but it it only worked in my area. Otherwise, it was roam, and it cost so much money that you I just didn't take it with me.
I did not because I would've been in college. I did not have a cell phone then.
Yeah.
Um, I had a car phone, like,
Yeah.
literally attached in my car that was for emergencies only.
I had one of those brick phones, the Jack Morris phones, where
Yeah, like in a
I thought and it was cool, but it wasn't a car phone, but I couldn't use it unless it was in my car because like, it wouldn't fit my purse or anything.
Fun fact, the only other time I remember seeing a phone installed in someone's car was in Bono's.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Around
He
here,
had a car phone. Yeah, and, I was in the back seat, and I could tell on the screen it, like, showed the phone number, and but I couldn't read it.
yeah.
I was like, "Read it and remember it," and I was like, I
Well,
couldn't
if it
get it.
ever happens again, call me. Everybody's got a cell phone now.
Like, "Dude, can I borrow your car phone?
That's
Can this
really
get to
fun.
Virginia?" Okay.
Everyone here had a phone in their car, like, installed in their car. My parents
Really?
had it, my friends, and I think my brother had one, and I don't
Wow.
know why. That was such a big thing.
I lied. One of my parents had one. I forget. But there was someone else that had a car from my family. It wasn't but when I picture a phone in a car, I picture his. But when I took my car to college, my parents had one installed, and it was, like, literally emergency only because every
Yeah,
second costs $500 or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think I ever used it. I think I was
yeah.
too scared to ever use it, and luckily, no emergencies. But anyway, we met, and somehow we got from that table So here we are today. I have a moment in time that I remember where when we became started to become inseparable. It was Halloween 1997, right after the Detroit show, and I you were there with friends. I was there with a friend, but also I'd driven up with some friends from college who were there also in different seats, and we had picked a spot. I knew where they were coming out of the stadium, so my job was after the show was to get to these people I rode up with, and on the way, I went into this fence, I mean, a door and a fence, a gate and a fence, and
Yeah,
you were right there walking out, and in my mind, that was just the most meant to be moment ever. You were like, "We're going to the hotel," and
yeah,
I found my friend, I'm like, "We're going to the hotel." We did you all saw Bono that night. We missed him. But and then the next day was the "If God Will Send His Angels" video, and that really just ramped everything up. But that said, we had seen a show in DC a few months earlier to I don't know if we must have been at the rail together. We met Bono and Adam for the first time together.
yeah,
So we definitely had we were friends. We were good friends. But there's something about that moment at that fence running into that felt so kismet that just felt like this is how this is supposed to be now.
yeah. So, not any way kismet-like, but when for 360, when I was in Vegas, I was walking out and I saw an iPhone that was fairly new at the time, and, I'm like, "I have an iPhone too," and I looked, and it was my, step cousin-in-law.
Okay.
I'm like, "Oh my god," like, he lives in Virginia. What the I mean, I sold him tickets though, but I didn't think that we would ever, ever find him. I
Right.
it was just there was no phone signal or anything, and I just looked up and I'm like, "Oh my god." So it's not the that wasn't the only time that I randomly ran into somebody.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely times, but I don't know. I will ever treasure that Halloween moment in my heart because I was looking for other people, and so then, yeah, that and then the video shoot the next day, and then that's when I started kinda touring with this group that you had to sponsor me into.
So in our group, to bring someone new in, you had to be sponsored, and unofficially, it wasn't like but
It was a
it was
trust thing. It was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I sponsored you, and I sponsored another friend of ours, the friend that likes Michael Jackson, and, so I sponsored 2 people, and it worked out.
and you were sponsored when you started.
I was sponsored too
Yeah.
by our friend who
"Hi, friend."
hi, friend, who, we are talking about you, friend.
It's definitely you. You'll know it.
So, I say this frequently, but, like, on Pop Mart, we would see Bono in the morning and then hang out and see him again at night or whatever. Anytime we were always there, and I always was, "He doesn't know me, he doesn't recognize me," and then our friend said one day, "He saw you this morning. How could he have forgotten you, this morning and yesterday morning and all,"
Right.
and I'm like, "I still don't think that," but so that's what's going on with our friend. Like, she thinks that she has that.
"Is that me? Are they talking about me?"
Yeah. That was really funny. That was
Yeah,
a really good text that she wrote.
I know. She was like, "Am I the friend?" We're like,
Yeah.
"Yes." Um, but and you reminded me of this recently that the time that really clinched our friendship was when on the fall leg of the Pop Mart tour, we were in a layover in an airport together, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we stayed in the same room, though. I think in Atlanta, it was you and me and our curly-haired friend.
Okay. Did we have separate rooms in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. In San Antonio, there were 8 of us.
There. Yes, 8 of us in a room. Um, I don't know if we've told that story yet. Maybe we should put that in for another time.
I'll put it another time. Yeah.
Okay, so Elevation, I you did so many Elevation shows, and
Oh
I
my
did
god, I
so
did
few.
so many.
So Elevation, we were together twice in DC. The last concert there was not fun. And
It was
then
the worst.
it was the worst. It was
Not musically.
no, I couldn't hear the music because my heart was racing and my blood was boiling. Um, it's weird. I
Anyway,
still think that's very, very weird. Okay, so
one
2
day maybe one day we'll ask him about it over whiskey and cake.
you know what? It could have been that, like, someone was behind us trying to, like, light our hair on fire or something, and it wasn't us. But I
It was
don't
us.
it was us. Okay, so we 2 D shows in DC, Hamilton, Ontario, which was weird. It was also the first show that we went to after 9/11.
Yep.
And then Madison Square Garden and Las Vegas, and then Tampa and Miami. I'm short one, hold on. So it's 38 shows we've been to together, and, I'm just trying to think of, like, memories of like, little memories from that, but when we were in Las Vegas, we went out and just had, like, binge night. It was just fun, and then, like, over the night, people started, like, dropping off that were out with us, and then it ended up that it was the 2 of us and, our friend that wore purple. And we oh
Yep.
my god, this night was just ridiculous. Our friend climbed up on he was wearing, like, a velvet shirt, purple shirt, and, like, puka necklace, and I
Oh,
got
the puka necklace, yeah.
I stood on one of those shoe shine,
Uh-huh.
things, and he came over and, like, took a tissue and started, like, pretending he was drying my shoe or cleaning my shoe, and
Yeah.
someone over him and asked him directions, like he worked there. Like, "Nope, look
No.
what he's wearing."
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
not work here.
no, but that was a really fun trip, and then we found a pith helmet.
Yep, with helmet. Yep. There's
Okay,
a
so
nice
this
photo shoot from that, yeah.
yeah, this is when we really kicked in going to the shows together. Vertigo, 2, 3
Mhm.
we went to 5 shows together. Madison Square Garden, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Omaha, and Salt Lake
Salt Lake
City.
City.
Yeah, which that was on purpose. I don't think we made the plans early or anything, but we wanted to go somewhere that we would never go again.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
had a cousin in Salt Lake City, so we had a place to stay.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were so nice. So then 360,
Yeah.
well, I went to 2 shows in Chicago, but we went to 3 shows together on
Did Chicago 1 Chicago in '09 and 1 Chicago in '11, but you weren't at that Chicago one.
uh-uh, but we went Giant Stadium and Pittsburgh together.
No.
It's where we learned how magic happens in Pittsburgh. Was it? No, we went there for Elevation too. Whatever. I&E, we went to
That was a magical show, though. I have 2 back to back, July 22nd, July
well, maybe
23rd.
because I had to copy and paste, maybe I missed one, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. So then that makes our number go up to, 39. Let's hit the big 40. Okay, Joshua Tree 30. We went to Pittsburgh, obviously,
mhm.
Cleveland, and Detroit. And then for E and I, we went to St. Louis.
Oh, I have St. Louis on here twice.
I see that. Okay, well then we're back to we're back to 38.
It's weird, I wonder why I had that.
Direction. Okay, so St. Louis, Nashville, which was also amazing, and then finally, our 2 shows in Dublin.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing, and, like, why would I think after that? Like, I just things keep happening, and I still won't acknowledge that Bono has any idea who I am. So but even after that, I st
Yeah.
we went to 5 Sphere shows together. Yeah, anyway, that's our long that's our long concert life.
Yep,
Okay, now our little travels that were YouTube related, but not a tour. So I
right.
started to make a list and then I don't know, I totally, like, forgot. We went to Music Cares, one of the Bono's
Heart of America?
yeah,
Is that what it
and
was?
we went to see Bono in DC. He had a speaking engagement at the place where they had the correspondence dinner last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
and we've been there twice, both Bono, but not tours. So, okay, we had that, we had what else did we do?
I mean, we recently went to Tulsa.
We went to Tulsa, we went to New York for his Butte tour.
Oh, we did, yeah, we did opening night there. You traveled to Cleveland for when you 2 turned 40.
Yep, I did
It
that.
was you 2 related, not no band there.
Yeah. More, there's like a
I'm
bunch
sure
more, but
there's
I
more. Yeah,
we did a lot of that stuff, and that's always fun because usually it's a little more calm than it is to go to a show. But
right.
also, like, usually, we don't think we're gonna maybe we do think we're gonna meet Bono, but we haven't yet at an event like that, so
No,
it
it's
was a
more of an
little calm.
excuse to be together.
Oh, I take that back. Colbert.
When we
We
went,
went
yes,
we went to Colbert, and then he came out afterwards, and we had a little chit chat,
little chit chat.
and
Yeah.
there's a really cool picture. Okay, so Jenny worked at the Rock Hall, and so anytime there was anything you 2 there, I would go. And then our last topic is bestest friends. So,
Yes.
like, what in our lives have we shared that was not you 2 rel I mean, we pretended it wasn't you 2 related. But I was in your
Yeah.
wedding.
Mhm.
I knew your children very well from when they were
Babies, yep.
babies. We went together to Amanda's wedding,
Mhm.
which what else? You were here for my 40th birthday.
Yep, I was gonna say that one, yep.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
think I was there for your 30th, 40th, and 50th.
Right, you would come for New Year's all the time, and my
Yeah.
birthday is December 30th, so we had a lot of my birthdays in Cleveland.
What did you do for your 40th birthday?
Well, for my 40th, went to New Orleans with my sister,
I remember that.
and I got my first U2 tattoo, my Free Yourself to Be
Awesome.
Yourself. It's twists with my thing, but I was back home before my birthday, my birthday day.
Okay.
So, um, I'm sure whatever we did here wasn't anything
Yeah.
spectacular because my sister and I did it up in New Orleans.
Oh, you went to see my brothers play.
I did go to see your brothers play. Yeah.
Um, which was crazy. It was
Gosh, it was
cool.
forever ago.
Yeah. We stayed in a room with my bubby who snores very loudly. She passed away. But this little teeny lady snored like God.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a sound sleeper.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a very short, origin story for the podcast. Just really quick, we're just gonna say the basics, but Garden Tart Amanda did not go with us to Dublin, and when we got back, we decided to record, what our adventures in Dublin for her,
Yeah.
and it went really well. Like, we really did well with it, and we're like, "Well, let's do this again." And, so we had our podcast. We went way too fast at the beginning because we did like every episode was an album.
Yeah, and they were, like, 1 every few weeks or something.
Yeah. And that was just not we didn't know that this was gonna go on so long. So, anyway, it was fun, and it's just been getting more and more fun. We get more and more listeners and who say the nicest things, like, the
So
compliments
nice.
we get from everybody, it's overwhelming. It's emotional and overwhelming, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep
Yeah.
listening, tell your friends, and subscribe, and like, and follow, and all the things like that.
Yeah, and I know that we were kinda doing this thing, and then when COVID hit,
Yeah,
I think we started going weekly before then, but once, like, we were in lockdown, it got really consistent,
yeah,
and I remember for May that year, May of 2020 was the year that Bono turned 60, and we
yeah,
decided to do a regular ep every week and a Bono birthday ep
and
every week.
May
It
had,
was
like,
like 5
5
weeks.
Yeah.
Like, why is this the longest month of all time?
It was a lot, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I wish we took video then.
I know.
I know, like, it's a shame that we didn't.
Yeah.
But I liked it, and I was not for this at first. The only downside is that I have to get my hair colored way more now. If you look at last week's episode and then look at mine now, it's
Or
very
maybe
different.
don't look.
Like, cover my head or something because it was bad last week.
I'm glad we do video. It's more f I have more fun.
Yeah. So our regular bits are, what would we ask Bono over whiskey and cake?
Mhm.
And we have mentioned that connection recently, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, we've done the origin story, and
Yeah.
if you missed it, go to our YouTube, there's a playlist
Yeah.
that's, and as we add more questions, I'm adding that too, but the origin story's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we have all little, nuances and bits and everything. It just
yeah,
makes it fun.
it's way more fun.
Jenny lives in Ohio, I live in Virginia. So, like, think of all of that traveling and everything, like, we're nowhere near each other.
Right,
Um, so
and
yeah. Yeah, so that's us, and,
now you know more about us than you ever needed to know.
yeah.
You're
If you
welcome.
wanna know more, ask us questions. We are always answering
Yeah,
questions most of the time.
yeah, we love listener questions.
There are no questions people have asked that we have refused to answer
Right,
yet, but
right, we always have because this is our house and we make the rules, we still
yeah.
have that right, but yeah, so far. So yeah, ask questions. Cool. Well, we don't have an intermission tonight. We're gonna go straight into side B. Y'all, we asked just it seems like weeks ago because we have been managing these 600 plus comments that came out of this, but we asked you if you had to ditch one album from the U2 catalog, what would it be? And album, we mean like original work album. So like Songs of Surrender doesn't count, Under Blood Red Sky, Wide Awake in America, that stuff doesn't count.
You have to pick an LP that is all new material.
Right. Which is why Songs of Surrender doesn't count because it's remade old material. And
If it did count, it would be bad. But anyway, go ahead.
well, it did not win by far. Unless people realized that wasn't one of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
We could tell that a lot of you were like, I know which one.
yeah,
Most of you were like, yep. And some of you were like, October, but I'd really miss Gloria.
yeah,
Which I thought was a great like caveat. They'd be like, this album, but can we just keep this one song? I'm like, we get that. Like acknowledging that you would actually miss it. And there were a handful of you, just a small handful, who were like, well, if you can get rid of one, then you're not a real fan.
yeah,
And I'm a little bit like, if you can't get rid of one, then you're just a yes man. Like,
yeah,
and there are people who genuinely love absolutely everything. But
yeah.
y'all, U2's music is, it all sounds like U2, but it's a pretty wide scope of
Oh,
material. And
absolutely.
usually there's an album that just isn't yours.
Yeah. So, like, I say this all the time, but the worst for you too is still better than everybody else.
Right. And also, if you don't wanna answer the question, just don't.
You don't have to click anything, just move on.
Someone answered all kind of snarky and was like, "None of them," or something, and one of us replied like, Why?" He's like, "Why'd you come here to say that?" And the person was like, "I didn't come here, it showed up in my feed." And I'm like, "Keep scrolling."
You don't have
80% of the stuff in my feed is just suggested to me. It's not,
Yeah, you don't have to click on anything. Nothing.
you
Just
know,
scroll down.
nothing. Just keep
And
going.
then
But
applies to
anyway,
every
a good handful of stuff actually sparked fan conversation, which was amazing.
Yeah,
Like someone would say their get rid of it was like how to dismantle an atomic bomb. And someone replied, it's so interesting because that's my favorite. Like it's just so interesting how things hit different people
yeah.
differently, and even some, yeah, there was a lot of really good, genuine conversation with fans, and that's what we want.
So I respect everyone's choice. I understand, like, and it might just be, today is not a day you like that album or whatever,
Yeah.
except the people that put Achtung Baby and Joshua Tree, because I think they misunderstood the
So,
question.
a few things. We did get a comment somewhere that said, oh gosh, I wish I could remember the wording, but it was like, anyone who puts Octon Baby, you should seriously check and make sure they're like, who hurt you? I think it's what they said. And someone um said, anyone who put Joshua Tree, show me on the dolly where Bono hurt you. There were a handful of I really think anyone who put Octon Baby completely did not read the question
Yeah.
correctly. There are 2 people who put Joshua Tree. One of them just they put Joshua Tree and then put, like, in parentheses, runs. Like they knew they had to run away real fast.
Oh, respect.
Yeah, and someone else I forget what the other one said, but the person was being real, and they were acknowledging that this was a very
Yeah.
contentious, thing. But so, I'm gonna get into this, but overall, we had 366 answers. If you put your favorite, I still put it down because I don't fucking know who you are,
No.
and I wasn't reading down in the comments to see someone going, "Oops, I did read it wrong," because some of them
Yeah.
did. 16 of you put Songs of Surrender. It does not count, and there was one gentleman who kept commenting, "That's not on their list," and I appreciated him actually
Thank you,
understanding the
though.
rules.
Thank you,
He
gentlemen.
was a little bit he went around and he, like, kind of policed it a little bit. Do you think can you guess the top 3 albums that people would ditch?
Um, No Line on the Horizon, October, and Pop.
Yep.
Really?
Pop was the number 1 album.
Oh my god.
It got
I feel bad for Pop.
62, 17% of the votes went to Pop. October and No Line on the Horizon together got 33% of the votes.
Oh my gosh.
They each got 61, and a lot of those people said Pop October or No Line.
Yeah, that's
So that
not
was
surprising at all.
and then can you guess what the 4th one was? I
Rattle
think
and Hum?
I think
No, it wasn't. It's Songs of Experience.
it is! What? I
I don't
had
understand
no
that.
idea
Uh-uh.
it was so unpopular.
Because I mean, that album, that's number 3 on my list. Okay, this
Okay.
is my list if anyone's interested. My favorites in order are Joshua Tree, Achtung Baby, Songs of Experience, Unforgettable Fire, War, Boy, Pop, Songs of Innocence, How to Send an Atomic Bomb, Rattle and Hum, Zooropa, All That You Can't Leave Behind, October, and No Line on the Horizon. Yeah.
Yep. I have not made my list.
You know what, though? The thing is that tomorrow, my list is gonna be different. I
Right.
mean, not the top 3, I don't think, but some days I wanna hear Zooropa, and some days I don't, and
Yeah.
this I didn't want to this time.
Yeah. Songs of Experience. So Pop had 62 votes. October and No Line each had 61. Songs of Experience had 43. And it's Zooropa, Songs of Innocence, Rattle and Hum, which I think is kind of a smart move because half the songs exist in
Yeah.
another space.
Also with Rattlehum, we discussed this before, I don't think they picked the right songs. Like,
Right.
I don't wanna hear them actually, I don't wanna hear them at all play covers.
Right.
So, it should have been Sunday Bloody Sunday and With or Without You. And
Someone
please.
did ask if we can just get rid of the live parts of Rattle and Hum and keep
Yeah,
the new songs, which we can discuss.
yeah. We can we can try to make that happen.
Yep. How to Spell Atomic Bomb got 11 votes. All You Can't Leave Behind got 8. One person said, "That one they put on my phone in 2016." It was like, fucking get over it."
Yeah,
8 of you put Octum Baby. I believe you all read the question wrong. John Cecily had 6. I think only 2 of them were real. The other 4 were people who read it wrong. And then I'm pretty sure the 5 people that put war, the 5 people that put the unforgettable fire, and 2 people that put boy also read the question wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe not. One person did put the unforgettable fire and put why, and his reasoning was because as brilliant as it is, he didn't feel like it held up, like sound-wise, like it's stuck in time,
Yeah.
which if that's your reason, that's
Absolutely.
yeah, a different reason.
I wrestled for a really long time with that. But, like, when we did the episode about Unforgettable Fire, I fell in love with that album so hard, and that's why it's my 4th favorite album.
You and I were both listening to Phil Taggart and Desire on Friday, and he played Promenade, and you were like, you
God,
texted me, and I'm like, me too." I kinda never gave it the time of day before
until I didn't until our
until we did the album.
yeah.
Yeah,
God, I love that album. So, what do we for this week, what is our listener input? Aside from you 2, who's your favorite artist?
right. Like,
Okay,
if you were going to a desert island and you could bring you 2 with you, the music, you don't get to take the guys, and one other artist, who would it be?
okay. So I have a question for Bono over Whiskey and Cake,
Yeah,
and that is, what is one album you would like to get rid of? And you have to give us an answer, like, please.
right.
I mean, I know, like, look, it changes for us all the time too, so and you don't have to say it out loud, you can just send us an email and let us know.
Yeah, we don't have to. And
Yeah,
maybe we all have different reasoning, right? Like, someone commented that pop reminds them of a really hard time in their life.
yeah,
So, even though they like the songs, it's kind of hard to listen to. Like, just because you wanna get rid of an album doesn't mean it's bad work.
yeah,
Maybe there's one that Bono's just maybe it's pop, like, maybe he wants to finish it.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Bono.
Yeah,
You know how to you know how to contact us.
yeah,
But it is interesting though, like, because before we reviewed the albums, I thought that All That You Can't Leave Behind was so much higher in my list. And then listening to it, I think it was my emotions were all tied up with it.
right.
But now that I mean, we still have emotions, but, like, now that it's so many years later, it doesn't help out All That You Can't Leave Behind. It's
No.
so that's a yeah.
I think you and I were both excited to do the Tart Talk for All the Hip Leave Behind and scared for How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, and it
Yeah,
ended up
yeah.
switching our thoughts about them completely.
So I don't know that I would change it now, but I'll tell you, All That You Can't Leave Behind kind of is tied with October. And October is just because I don't understand it. It's a little, you know, evangelical that I don't I just don't understand.
So, yeah. Okay, girl.
So thank you for listening, and please, please, please like and subscribe. Leave us 5 stars.
We have a new iTunes review.
Oh, we do? And it's someone real, not my brother?
No, it's someone from Argentina. Here it is. It's from Juan. 5 stars, the only answer. They are good fun. Argentina loves you too, and I like the Garden Tarts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Juan.
thank
That's
you, Juan from
amazing.
Argentina. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Leave us a 5-star review and we will read it on the pod.
And yeah, tell your friends if they're YouTube people because
Yeah. Word of mouth is the best way to spread it. Yeah.
so bring it
Um,
on.
yeah. Share our content with them. Send them stuff from Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and just tell them we're great.
And like I said, you can send us DMs or whatever too, and we'll answer them because we're not big enough yet to not be able to answer
Right.
DMs.
Put it all out there.
Yeah. I mean, like
We'll,
maybe
we'll
one
have
day.
our people reach out to you,
Yeah, definitely.
which is each other. We are each other's people.
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, crew. Well, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be back next week with more U2ish content. In the meantime, keep chatting with us on social media at _Garden Tarts. Sign up for our newsletter at thegardentarts.com and share with your YouTube friends. You can support us on Patreon, buy me a coffee, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Kissing Lips and Breaking Hearts, a U2ish podcast with the Garden Tarts, is created, produced, and edited by us, the Garden Tarts. Intro and outro music by December. See you next week.